morning, everybody. How you doing? And welcome back to Ted Davies Artistry, TED Talks. Today we're talking about Tikis and the history of Tikis and why they call me Tiki Ted. Yeah, you didn't know that, did you? A lot of people have been calling me that over the years. I've done very, very well with my Tiki art and just about all of my car culture art that I've done over the years. And yeah, it's been a blast. And I want to share that with you a little bit today, a little bit of my collection, and just kind of show you what I do with tikis and why they call me that. In any case, let's talk about what's in my coffee cup today. I have Columbus Beach. It is awesome. Let's do a little bit of maintenance with Indian River Roasting Company. Let's do their promo so you can see who sponsors this great station. And we'll be back in a second. Here at Ted Davies Artistry, we take coffee seriously. And so does our sponsor, Indian River Roasting Company. It's fair trade, organic, and they're artisans just like me. The only difference is I use watercolor and ink and they use coffee beans. And I enjoy it all through my day. So do yourself a favor, go to the description when you like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Find Indian River Roasting Company's website, use the promo code CAFFEINATED2021, and save 10% on your purchase. So find in the description that great website for Indian River Roasting Company. Use CAFFEINATED2021 as your promo code. Get 10% off. They've got everything from cold brew to hot coffee, tea, you name it. So check out what they've got. They are awesome, and I am very much very proud of them for everything that they do. It's good quality product, and they keep me caffeinated. So hopefully they do for you too. I also want to tell you about the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. We're affiliated with them, and Ted Davies Artistry is proud to be part of their whole coalition of creatives. We are a group of creatives that raise and build up other creatives. That's what we do, and that's what the station is all about, as well as the broadcasting network. So what I would like to do is I'm going to bring up a screen about the different shows that we've got. Now, this is an interesting thing because I think you guys should probably just take a gander at this, take a screenshot of it, because I know that things are going to be changing over the course of the next few months. We've got a few things that are coming into play, different shows that are going to be added on and such. But I think that this is a great format. On Tuesdays, though, Tuesday's a powerhouse. We got a lot going on Tuesday. We start out with me, lucky you, right, at 10 a.m. For TED Talks. And then we work through the day. We'll give you a little bit of a break. And then actually, I don't know if it's on this list or not, but the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS is on at 6 p.m. with Christian Basil. And I definitely recommend them. These are all Eastern Standard Times, by the way. If you have anything to do with Doctor Who or you like Doctor Who, you need to be on that station and watch that awesome show, because it's nerdom at its finest as far as I'm concerned. But in any case, check that out about 6 p.m. On Tuesdays. And then at 8 o'clock, we finish up with, what is that one? Clever Title Pending with Brian K. Morris. Brian is basically the grand poobah of the whole thing. He's the one that has become, I think, probably the chauffeur to this bus. It is a great thing for him. It's great for me to see him expand into what he's doing, because I think there's some great things that are going to be happening for Brian K. Morris. And I can't tell you that you guys should go to the YouTube channel and check everything else out that he's doing, but mainly check out what Rising Tide Broadcast Network is doing. Go to their Facebook page, like it, and follow all these great YouTube channels that we've got in the affiliation, and including mine, if you wouldn't mind. Subscribe, like, and share. That would be awesome. But take a screenshot of this. This will give you a rundown of everything, of all of our shows during the week, 7 days a week. And yeah, while we're in this lockdown or whatever you're doing right now, especially in this cold weather, we had some huge snow in Michigan last night, and it's cold. And I know the Midwest is frozen right now. Heck, even Texas has snow. So why not just enjoy us on YouTube? Check it all out. So with no further ado, I'm going to remove this one here. I want to talk to you today about tikis and what tikis are. Now, here in Michigan, there's not many tikis unless it's from me or it's from other people that are putting them in there for their yard ornaments or whatever, or their lawn ornaments, or in their house, like I am. I'm crazy about tikis. I create a lot of them. Um, but the big thing here in Michigan is totems. There's a lot of different totems with, from obviously from Native American, different things that are happening with different islands and different things that we have in Michigan, with the Hurons and all this other, the Potawatomi Nation, all these different nations that we have here in Michigan. The Native American totems, though, are just, they're gorgeous, they're beautiful, but they're very similar to tikis. And at least I've seen that. They tell a story. And that is kind of what I wanted to tell you about with tikis, how it got started. The history of a tiki basically is it's either a reminiscence of a god, a deity, or even Adam, the first man, the first human. And that's something where tikis, a lot of people don't know. You know, they've watched the Brady's when they went to Hawaii, and they saw the tiki and the curse and all that stuff. And that's, probably that might have been one of the first times I was introduced to tikis growing up, actually. But you have, you've got a lot of folklore, you've got a lot of stories, and tikis are kind of that guidepost a little bit, kind of like a totem in that regard. So I look at it, there's similarities in all different nations, right? So tikis are just another variation of that storytelling, and I just love them. There's something about car culture and the whole hot rods and motorcycles and rat rods and everything else that I'm into anyway. Being a kid from Detroit, everything was hot rods and vehicles and restoring cars, and that's what we did. I mean, that's what we do. I don't own any historical or vintage cars, but I do have a vintage motorcycle that eventually I'm going to get working on here, making that into a bar runner, cafe runner bike, and I'm hoping that that gets done soon. And there's also, years down the road, I'm probably going to get another. I'd like to get some type of a hot rod. I don't even know if I want a hot rod. I just want. I might just get a rat rod. I think that Rust is a great patina, and I really enjoy that whole, uh, just everything about it. And that's probably why I draw. I mean, tikis and my skull cap series. I've got a lot of different things that I'm known for, besides my comic books and my other writings and that. I do a lot of this car culture, rockabilly artwork, and that's who I am. Anybody who knows me knows that I like tikis, and I got the nickname Tiki Ted about 10 years ago, being affiliated with a bunch of rockabilly people, and it's just because I drew so many of them. And I guess you could be called worse. But in any case, let me show you what I've got here. Behind me here, I've got a couple different tikis that I've done over the years, and the most, I think the most requested tiki that I've got is the one up right above here. You see right by, yeah, that one's my curly tiki. That one there, I've sold more prints of that one than anything else. It's kind of a, you know, in the summertime, my hair, I mean, right now my hair is really, really long. I haven't gone to a barber in a while, but it really is curly. And I thought, instead of looking at the standard tiki, why don't we torque it a bit? Let's put some curls on it. Let's, and it almost looks like a squid or an octopus. And I think it's really, really cool. But I've had a lot of people, because it's not the norm, a lot of people dig it. I've had it called calamari tiki before, and that's cool too. Whatever, call it what you will. But that's one of my number one. That's why it's on that wall. I usually move things around. That's kind of what evolution of the space in the library and that. But it gives you an idea of, that's just the beginning. I do a ton of different stuff with tikis, but the one below it is actually the five and dime. We found it at one of the, I don't know if you guys have Ben Franklin's, but it's basically a five and dime shop here in up north in Tawas. And I just love it. These things, I love the cheapness of it, and the it's Americana. It's Americana tiki. It's not really, the native Polynesian tikis that you see, and they're gaudy and they're cool. I find them inspiring. So whatever. I'll get your comments in a few minutes, guys. Like I normally do, as you guys know. It's going to be a little tricky because I'm going to be doing some drawing here too. So I'm going to be looking at, I've got another screen I'm going to be bringing up. So it's going to be a little bit tricky for me to answer some of the questions, but I'll do my best. So in any case, and as we move through this, I don't know if you guys can see this one here. Let me move over this way. This one here is one of the other tikis that I've done. I got this. I got these frames actually from a good friend of ours, and the bamboo, and they're awesome, and I love them. And I've had them out. I've had them, but they just, for whatever reason, haven't sold, and that's good. If you see anything that you do like, my prints or any of my other work, they're always for sale. You can always direct message me, and I'll tell you what they run, and we can work that out. But in any case, tikis are everywhere in this house. I do a lot of work with my skull cap series, which you'll see over here. This guy here, over that way. Sorry, that that one, my inner punk. That one actually, that is the top seller of everything that I've sold since I created the skull cap series. But all these, the tiki, the skull cap series, and anything else that I do, they kind of revolve around that car culture structure. That rockabilly, the hot rod ish thing. Not necessarily my books, but my artwork, my illustration work. So, having said that, I want to show you a couple other tikis that I've got. These ones here, I'm going to reach over here. These are my favorite. These are, I picked these up. I'm going to give a shout out to Amanda Byers. She works at Trinkets, Trash, and Treasure. You guys need to find that on Facebook. Trinkets, Trash, and Treasure. And she's awesome. She's got some really amazing things that she sells, excuse me, when it comes to antiques. Now she's out of New York now, but she'll ship all, I think, nationwide. And you should definitely check her out. In any case, I love vintage stuff like this. This is me. This is, yeah, this is everything. So, and why just get one when you can get two, right? These are awesome because they're drinks. They hold drinks. They're wicked. And whether you got a Mai Tai or just a, rum and Coke, or like me, Scotch and Verner is my thing. But yeah, these bad boys, and these came from a resort, Westgate Resort. I don't even know how old these are. They're probably from the 70s, I would think. But yeah, anything like this is totally me. And you're going to be seeing a lot of things from Ted Davies Artistry coming out in this next year with that in mind. I'm not going to announce it yet, but I've got a lot of things happening with my other broadcasting ideas, and I'm going to run those past Rising Tide Broadcast Network too, and see if they want to be part of that. But there's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of creative energy with it, a lot of vintage stuff, and it's just going to be a lot of fun where it can be entertaining, and maybe you guys can be part of it. And I would love to see us just be a rising tide group, helping each other out. In any case, not you seen a few of my, I got a lot of stuff that, a lot of the tikis, I just don't want to get out. They're everywhere, and I'd rather not get into that right now, maybe for another time. But I want to just take maybe a half hour to 45 minutes to maybe an hour of just talking about tikis and how my process behind it. Usually on Ted Davies Artistries, I'll have interviews and I'll do, but I try to have a full medley of things, because I think it gets kind of stagnant after a while. You see so many Kickstarters being launched, or you see just so many interviews of people that maybe you're just not clicking with or whatever, and that's cool. I just want to give you some variety. Yeah, so let me go down the list here. Okay, so let's talk about tikis. So the tiki history, from what I understand, and this is the first time I was exposed to tiki artwork or tikis in general. I'll tell you about the history of it first, and then we'll go into that. The history on tikis, like I said, they were kind of a totem. They were kind of a story. They were either gods, or they were considered Adam, the first human. There's a lot of different stories on that, Polynesian stories, South Pacific stories based around that. And if you know of any, please put it in the comments so that we can further this journey down the road. I know we were talking about Glenn Fleming has a book out about Easter Island that has the totems and different things of that sort, and these different figures. And it's inspiring. It's really cool, and I want to probably check out that book. I don't know if Glenn's on here today, but there's so many different things with the Tikis, history wise. But the biggest thing is that we kind of, as Americans, took that Polynesian idea and we tweaked it a bit. The GIs after World War II came back, and they were starting to basically, the baby boomers were moving out the suburbs, and they were trying to create. They liked the Polynesian, obviously the Polynesian babes on the beach and that, but they also wanted the feel of that again. That just the whole ambiance, the tikis and the palm trees and all that. Even if they were living in Oklahoma or whatever, they wanted that, and they wanted that in their backyard, and that's how this whole kind of spawned this whole idea of tiki texture is what I call it. It's like tiki architecture. A lot of backyard mini bars, inside mini bars for that matter. Very tiki inspired, very Polynesian, very South Pacific grasses, and that bamboo. You know what I'm talking about. So, and that was kind of the spawn of all of that. Tiki culture, though, it's everywhere now. I don't know if you guys even noticed it, but there's a lot of tiki culture around, and I think I'm better for it. I know I am because of my artwork, but it's cool. I just love it. I love the segue into hot rods and that whole rockabilly thing. I just love it. If you haven't noticed yet, so but yeah, so that's from what I understand. That's what I understand the tiki's, what it's about. One of the things that I learned when I was a kid was when we went to Walt Disney World, and I saw the Tiki Room. That was a big thing for me. The talking parrot, the whole thing, and I think probably that and combining with the Brady Bunch and everything else in that era, I think that's probably how I got hooked into it. Yeah, tikis were always around the house when I was growing up as a kid. Um, just kind of tchotchkes, souvenirs from Walt Disney World. And that was one thing that Walt did too. He brought it to the mainstream too. He took these ideas, and he made them into something that was fun and creative, but it was very American, very Americana. And a lot of that spawned out into the bar scene, the tiki bars and all these other things back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. We had one in Detroit, a real famous tiki bar in downtown Detroit, and it closed down. But there was, I think it was even I think they opened it for in the movie 8 Mile. I think they reopened it for that. But in any case, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, if you remember that scene in the movie. But I'm pretty sure that they did. If anybody knows in Detroit, but they the whole movement created drinks. I mean, Mai Tais and all these other. It was a full on amazing thing that happened in that course of the 50s, early 60s, and then it kind of died out. It ran its course, and people, I don't know if it was boredom or what it was. People got, some of the, I've read article about it, about people. This was they could they kind of went pagan a little bit. They went from their good Christian roots into, like, they went to Las Vegas, and they, Sin City and all that, and kind of went off the rails a bit. And I don't know if that's true or not. If I don't think tiki culture is anything different than any other culture. It's just more of an aesthetic. But I don't know. But it's come back with a vengeance. So at least in my experience. So in any case, the tikis I want to show you today. I'm going to give you an idea of what I've done over the course of Instagram and just having fun over the years. And I just want to show you the diversity as far as where I'm working and how I do them. And I'm going to show you my process here, just on a smaller scale. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this. I'm going to look at comments too, but I'm going to use my secondary camera here and see if we can't bring that up. Let me see what I'm going to do here. All right, and I'll bring up some of the comments here too. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see who's here. Hey, Jake, what's up, man? Good morning. Donna, how you doing? Let's see. Christian, hello. And Carl, of course, man. How you doing, man? Check out Carl and my cigar show every second Thursday of every month, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. And yeah, it's still going to be 11 o'clock, and we're still going to rock the cigars big time during the month. So good morning. How you doing, everybody else? Amy, hello. So in this, what I do is I usually have a sketchbook, and what I did was during the course of Inktober a couple years ago. This is actually how I built my Instagram page. I went from 0 to over 1,000 um, people in 90 days, and that was pretty good for me on Instagram. But I did it by doing caricatures every single day for 90 days, and I tell everybody that is an artist, if they're going to do that, do it. Don't put just halfsies into it. Do the best work you can do. And I'm talking, these are 2-minute, 3-minute sketches. These aren't anything fancy. But I want to give you an idea on just how I started out with the different tikis that I wanted. I wanted kind of a caricature, something fun, something that I could put on a shirt if I wanted to, which I do. I have that on. And this is this one here. This isn't a tiki, and this isn't Brian, but I did this. I don't know. This is before I met Brian. This is 2019. So, but that's I thought that was kind of funny when I saw that. But there's different types of oops, let me get that over there. Different types of tikis, earrings, nose rings. I try to get it so that it's different than what you see normally. You see tikis like the one on the wall, like I showed you earlier, or the cups that I have there. I wanted to bring something into angry tikis, just something fun, and to be different. That's the key, right? You need to have it so that you have something that's marketable. If I can get that one in there, something that's marketable, and certain drawings are going to resonate with different people. Here's one for you, Carl. It's got the sorry. It's got the pipe for you. You're always talking about pipe smoking and that, so there you go. That one I did a while ago too. But there's there's a lot to be said for it. This isn't everybody's cup of tea, but you got to broaden your horizons a bit. Maybe I'll get this camera correct. There you go. But I'm just trying to show you some different ideas. And then of course there's Chewbacca, of course, and then there's the curly. That was a smaller version of the curly. If I can get that in the picture here. There you go. But yeah, there's just so much that I've done over the years. I've had this one here was a pretty big seller. I did this in a bunch of different greens. Hello, Will. How you doing? I did this in a bunch of different colors. This one, I've had people actually approach me and want me to do pins. And I thought about that. See what you guys think. I haven't made a decision. Christine and I haven't really made a decision, but there's been lapel pins that people have been wanting to get, or obviously stickers, or yeah, I mean, I do a few different ideas I had on it, but the pins, people have been asking me for those. So I might end up doing that. I'm not sure. But I've done a lot of illustration work with that, with these different tikis. The big teeth seem to be the, a lot of people dig these, and I've sold a ton of these, actually original art, not just prints. But everything that I've sketched is also offering print style too. These nose ring ones, I don't know if you can see these pretty good, but this one seems to be a pretty good one too. A lot of people just like the different variety of them. Let me see if I got something else in here. Yeah, there. So these ones, I did some black line work on these ones, and I just did almost like a hatching on it. And these, again, I'm just showing you that there's variation, and you can do them like a 2-dimension. You can do them turn slightly so that they're on an angle, which I like too. I think that gives a little bit more depth to some of the things that you're trying to do as an artist. But it gives people some variety, and that's the key, right? Let me get onto the sketchbook here. This, like I said, this one was from my Inktober deal a couple years ago. But any of my Instagram, check that out too, because I'm going to probably start posting. I've got a new series I'm going to be bringing out, and I'll talk about that in a couple minutes, as well as my other books that I'm going to be bringing out this year too. I've got a lot going on, plus the shows that we're doing. So not complaining at all. And I appreciate everybody that's been so supportive over the last course of the last year and that. And it's been actually all through the years, but thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Can you guys see that one okay, or should I darken it down a bit? I need to darken the light. Let me see if I can just darken that just a tad. Is that better? I think that might be a little bit better. Since you're not seeing me, it doesn't really matter whether I'm on or not camera. Let me get a drink here. How's since I'm going to take a break for a second, how's the weather for everybody? Carl and Willow, I know you're probably dealing with worse than we are here. Michigan, we got hit. Probably had 7 inches last night here. And it's been cold. Not the proper weather for a baby Chihuahua to be out using the bathroom. That's been an education. But in any case, so what I do, my process is this. I like working smaller because I use up less material. I use up less, obviously, pencils, paper, such. And it gives me an idea that I can maybe work off of other sketches on here. Carl, no kidding. You got 11 inches of snow. Wow. Holy cow. Do these drawings show any cultural reference back to the originals? Not sure if it's just drawings or part of a bigger story. Huh. I don't know. I mean, my drawings, you mean? Or do you, that was from the desk of a small press publisher. I've had, I go off of what I feel, they're not really stories yet. There's a couple things. One of the things I don't want to be compared to is, I don't want to take a SpongeBob bikini bottom tiki totem or anything like that. I don't want it to look like that too much, because obviously that story. I don't really have, but to answer your question, I don't really have a set story on these as far as the tikis. I just do them more. It's very methodical, very almost like a meditation. Just get them down on paper and see what happens with it. Very stream of consciousness. But having said that, with the SpongeBob thing, what a great way to send off some tiki art and some tiki culture. That was a huge phenomenon when it first came out. It was crazy. SpongeBob was everywhere. And it was good for tiki sales. I'll tell you, I made a lot of money doing it. And I really like the fact that you can put them on shirts. You can do them whatever. You put them on coffee mugs, and I've had I've had a couple people put them on coffee mugs and then send me. I don't have any of my own. I should probably do that, Brian. I know you're probably if you listen on the playback, it'll probably be something I should have done before I was even on here. But in any case, the thin line that I usually start out drawings is I'll start out with a shape. Either it'll be a rectangle or maybe a figure 8, because I like to bring in, if you sketch out hourglass, that looks different than a normal tiki, and that's more of a cartoon-esque movement, at least in my eyes. But I use it so that I can kind of just format just different shapes. I wanted to get something too that was easy that I could duplicate. When you're drawing, sometimes you've got things that you're trying to get done, and if it's too, I see these people that take a month to get some drawings done. It's like, geez, how can you sit on one drawing for a month? I don't know how people do it. It would drive me absolutely batty. But anyway, so I start out with a light line. And when I do the light lines, I'll usually go over them in black with ink pretty quickly. I usually use a Burl 3 micron, just to get a feel for it. Sometimes what I'll do, just to get an outline. I don't know if that's showing up on camera, but it looks like it is. But 13 inch. Oh my God, 13 inches of snow in Chicago. Holy cow. Willow, it's -12. Ugh. Sun shining though. That's good. Well, I know I saw some storms. Christian posted some storms coming in last night in Florida. That did not look good at all. And then I know some people in Texas that are having a hard time too, which that's for them. I remember my sister lived in Dallas for years, and they basically shut the place down if they had any snow. I mean, even if it was an inch, it was not suitable for travel. They just didn't know how to handle it. She did because she grew up in Detroit, but in any case, the pattern that I try to just go with, I'll build up lines. I don't, I try to do a couple different facets here. I don't really have a set of like parameters of what I do. I'm just trying to get. I'll just kind of let it roll and then see. I'll add texture in, and these are more like the Easter Island totems. This one's smoking a cigar. But I'll throw these together and then I'll come back to them. I know that there's something that I can look at later. It's more like taking notes, shorthand, if you want to call it that, if you guys even know. Um, Amy, I do. I've had about 4 or 5 people ask to do tiki designs for tattoos. So anything that I do can be transferred to tattoo as well, as long as the artist will work with it. I have I think I told you guys before, I've got a steampunk a good friend that does that wants a steampunk ship that I put together, and she wants a full back tattoo. So we're working on that right now, but it's going to take a while because there's a lot of detail in that, and plus it's going to take a while for her to actually get it done. But yeah, everything that I do, actually any of my work that I do that's in line form, can be used as a tattoo. Just let me know. You have to pay for the original or the rights for it if you want. Not, I won't hammer you for it, but it's something I always do. Um, let's see what I got here. One of the things too, I was talking about fezzes. I forget. I think Chris and I were talking about it, but I knew that I was going to have to do a tiki with a fez on it eventually for Brian. And I haven't quite got there yet. I'm still working on it. Um, but we're working on it. I've got some ideas as far as what I want to do. The skull cap series that I do is it's all obviously it's all skulls, but that that I think that a fez wearing skull cap might be the next thing that I probably end up doing after I get this next series launched. But one of the things I do too is I'll take the lighter lines. I use a 2H. Being a architectural drafts person, 2H was always something I use. I'm comfortable with. I use an ebony pencil though when I'm doing filming like this because it darkens it up a bit. But since I've already got light lines on this, I'll just go ahead and do this, and I'll show you what I'll end up framing this into. There's a lot of things that people ask me to put like landscape around them, or just make the ambiance of the whole thing, the beach scene. Since we live on a beach, you'd never know right now with the snow, but in the summer it's great because you got this whole Caribbean theme. Our colors in our house are that way. Our just everything about our house is set up like that. It's very much a beach house. You can come with your flip flops. It won't matter, if your feet are sandy or whatever. That's the whole vibe of what we wanted to. And we get that probably about 6, 7 months out of the year. We can do that, which is nice. Right now, it's not because of the snow. Um, but yeah, give me one sec. Let me just draw this out. So, I mean, I try to get it so that we're having fun doing it. When I first was in uh, architecture school, I worked at a daycare teaching little kids how to draw. Very rewarding. Um, but it was something to where you have to be on your game all the time because those kids are ruthless if you don't do something right. They and that one actually that pen was a 0.5 micron. I'll go over with the Sharpie too. I usually use Sharpie fine tip, and then I'll go with a Sharpie. I love these Sharpies. Any of the fine point or the fine tip, I'll go with, or then even the chisel tips. Love those. Um, but they're the shadow lines, things of this sort. I've had a lot of people like what I do, but the kids were just ruthless, man. They would it doesn't look the same as it did yesterday. Okay, yeah, I know, I got it. Okay, they would just they would be out of the mouth of babes, man. It was, and then there were some that were just they were so they wanted to learn how to draw so badly, and they just didn't have not what it took, but I think that all kids are artists, but they just felt like they weren't good enough, fast enough, and that's a real shame because I think that I think that's a learned behavior. I think that a lot of people could be easier on their kids sometimes when it comes to that kind of stuff. But what can you do? But yeah, there's all kinds of things. I'm just doing some quick sketches here, but I want to give you guys an idea that if you want to, you can draw a tiki pretty easily. And I've seen people make tikis out of squares, out of circles. I mean, I've seen if you can believe it. Um, one of the tikis that I've been working on too is a spike tiki, kind of like a punker punk rocker tiki, and I'm still not there yet. I'm working with it. I've had a lot of requests for. This is kind of funny. I've had a lot of bands ask me to do like cover art for their CDs and stuff when we used to do CDs. I don't even know if they do that anymore. But and then I've had podcasters ask that, not for tikis necessarily, but logos. And that's been fun. I still like drawing though. I think that I mean digital art's great, but I really think that the the traditional art is kind of my you know there's nothing there's always something about picking up a pen and just drawing it on paper. There's always something that's really, I don't know, it's primal almost for me. And I think that over the years of me sketching so many homes and doing so many different drawings that I've done over the years, it's become such a natural thing for me. Um, yeah. So let me just finish this up, and we'll talk a little bit more here. I appreciate you guys stopping in. Um, One of the new series that I'm going to be bringing out, I'll be talking to you in a second about. And I was asked to actually do some other series because, one of the things that pop culture wise, I fan art is one thing. I like fan art in some regards. I don't like fan art in all regards because I think some people they just they don't really how can I put it without being insulting. I don't like the ones that just copy artwork. They don't put their spin on it. It's like when you've got certain characters in that, you should probably end up having your take on it, right? I think that people you got to add your touch to it. Unless it's something that you're doing for that comic book or whatever that needs to look just like that, whether it's Spider-Man or whatever. I like a little bit of a difference to it. And uh so when I'm bringing out this is for Brian here. I don't know if he's on right now, but we'll put this on here. Kind of the angry fez wearer tiki. Give me one sec. Sorry, I don't have music on or something. I should, but don't want somebody getting a copyright lawsuit with me. That would be not fun. Okay, let's do a little bit of Brian there. Except he doesn't smoke a cigar, but that might be the one cigar that he's ever smoked. Maybe that's what that one is. I appreciate you guys being patient with me while I'm sketching this thing out. Okay, finish this up in a second. I don't know if I've got a red. I don't know if I've got the red marker over here. I don't. I guess you're going to end up getting the Purple fez today, Brian. That looks better anyway. You look good in purple, bro. Let me get some of the line work in here too. I've done over the past two. I've actually done a lot of, and these are just sketches. The ones that the larger ones that I do that are 12 by or 8 by 11 or 12 by 17 or what have you, 12 by 18. They're actually they've got wood grain texture on them. I mean, these are just quick sketches, just for visual. But yeah, they're a lot of fun to do on the larger scale. I've had a lot of people. I've been very fortunate because a lot of people pick up the originals too, which is nice. And then I don't, and sometimes what I'll do is I'll have them actually purchase the rights so they don't. I don't use that for any other artwork, whether it be T-shirts or anything else. They can do that as well. Brian smokes his nub cigar, maybe. And yeah, traditional. You're correct. From a desk of a small press publisher, he says traditional always allows you to experiment. Yeah, and I think that there's and I think we need to. I think that there's, whether we're writing or whatever, whether we're writing or whether we're just creating in general. If we don't have that luxury, it's not worth it. We're not truly being our full creative selves, right? Skunk Rocker, good morning, dude. How are you? Hopefully I hope you don't have the weather we do. Did someone say punk? Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I had a couple of the ones. My the tiki there, this one here is usually I have like a really spiked out one. When I go back to when you're viewing me here in a second, my inner punk, the one that's on the wall, that's my number one seller, and that is I've had more midlife crisis people buy that and have that hang there in their home, which is it's very endearing. But yeah, I just love my inner punk skull cap. But in any case, one of the things I did draw this one earlier. I don't know if you guys can see that one. That one was kind of my testament to Brian. Little bow tie. I'll probably end up selling. Yeah, I'll sell that to him. I'll send that one to him and keep it on his desk. But today, what I'm going to end up talking about is the new series that I'm going to be bringing out. Is called The Shrunkins. And the Shrunkins are a group of shrunken heads that I'm going to be doing, much like the Skullcap series and the Tikis and that. The Shrunkins are going to be a whole series of shrunken head, rat fink type architecture, or art, I should say. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to bringing them out. I think they're going to be trading cards. They're going to be a lot of prints that I'm going to be doing, different colors, different aspects of, shrunken heads, from everything from, and they're going to be all, I'm going to be doing some fan art, I think, a little bit with that. I'll be taking, I've been requested to do a shrunken head of Boba Fett. So we'll be talking about that kind of thing. But I'll make it fun. I'm not going to make it gory. It's not going to be brutal head shrinking or anything of that sort, but it might be something that I think is going to be both marketable and fun. But yeah, the Shrunkins, they're going to be coming out soon. They'll be out by the end of the month. First couple, check out my Instagram, Ted Davies Artistry, and you'll see them come out as far as the different incarnations of what we're going to create. And okay, so I got that, the Shrunkins. We talked the series. Excellent. You guys might have noticed, I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me take this off here. This is going to be, we're getting about 45 minutes here. That's about what I wanted to talk about today, the time-wise. I don't know if you guys can see that one or not. This is my 53 Bulova Windsor watch that I have. I collect a lot of vintage watches, and I've got, I'm going to be doing a lot of different studying on different new timepieces as well, but that's going to be talked about on Thursday. TED Talks is going to be on Thursdays, and we're going to be talking about timepieces, and that's going to be 10 a.m. If you have any interest in timepieces, join in, because I mean, it's going to be a lot of different things as far as new technology, about what how to change batteries, things like that sort, but also reviews on watches that I actually personally own, and the different nuances to each one's automatics, digitals, maybe even a solar power one here eventually. But there's going to be a lot of different things. I have a very large collection that I want to go through, and I want to share that with you. And yeah, so it's one of my passions. Carl and I are still going to be doing the cigar show at 11 o'clock on the second Thursday of every month. So we'll go from Timepieces with Ted at 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock with Ted and Carl, and cigar shows at least once a month. But I'll be doing the TED Talks Timepieces every Thursday at 10 o'clock in the morning. So, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as it goes. But yeah, so I mean, there's gives you an idea of what goes on in this crazy head of mine. So hopefully you get a little bit of an idea of what my tiki art is all about. You can always check it out on my Instagram and my YouTube channels and all that. I do a lot of different things. I think one of the first videos I ever did. You can look back on how I've evolved. Hopefully, it's for the better. About my different tiki art. I think I have a couple of videos on that. But yeah, so my Inner Punk right there. That's one of my number one sellers. I don't know if you guys can see it or not but yeah, it's that's the number one seller of my I think all my artwork. Actually, it's been around for quite a while, and I've besides my books, I've sold quite a few. A lot of my comic books and that have sold well past that, but it gives you at least an idea of the creative chaos that's in my mind. So, but in any way, shape, or form, I want to thank you guys for taking some time with the Tiki Ted and seeing what I do. Let me read a couple more of these. Let's see. Skunk Rocker says, anyway, I got a really short day today, so I'm enjoying while it's like at 10:40 and I'll get to 2 stops left. Okay. It's been enjoying the show. I haven't really had anything to say the whole time. I just like watching you draw. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Kyle, let me know, man, if there's anything I can do for you. I'm around. Carl, I appreciate it, man. You're always so supportive on the show, and I appreciate everybody stopping in because I know it's, I just want to break to the day. I want you guys to be able to say, hey, all right, somebody is teaching me something that's fun, and I know it's not for everybody, but that's Ted. So hopefully you enjoy it. And Ted Davies Artistry is just so that a place that we can hang out and we can get a feel for the creative side of it all. In any case, please check out later today, like we were talking about with Christian, and he's going to have the Traveling TARDIS on at 6 o'clock. And then Brian is finishing up the day with Clever Title Pending at 8 p.m. And I think he's having Russ is on tonight with Russ Explodes. He's got a new comic book that's going to be coming out. And yeah, so that should be really a good, I'm looking forward to it because I want to learn a little bit more about Russ and to see his creative process and his story. But yeah, so we're about there. I'm looking forward to Thursdays, TED Talks Timepieces. It's going to be kind of a step back a little bit from my interview process on Tuesdays with a lot of different people. We got a ton of people coming in next month, and I'm probably going to have a live draw at least once a month. So, and I can show you my processes on different things and my different books that are going to be coming out here soon. Next week, Tuesday, we have Michaela Jade, up and coming author. She's part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And she's got a great YouTube channel. You should check that out. She's trying to do some really good things. She's had some explosive growth in her channel the last 2 weeks, which is great. Yeah. And if you guys enjoy what you're seeing here, please subscribe and like and share anything that I'm doing. I would love to have the masses see what Ted's doing. In any case, no envy, no fear. Try to have a good day. If you got the snow and you got that crappy weather, be safe out there. I look forward to seeing you guys on Thursday, and enjoy your day. Be safe out there. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, guys. And please always be safe. We'll talk to you.